am Kim Kesty, Creative Director here at Fun Stamper's Journey, and guess what? It is Friday! Yes, it is Tryday Friday, so that always makes it a special Friday, where we come to you every Friday afternoon and just kind of share maybe something we've tried, something we want you to try, some new techniques, some new card making pizzazz that we want you to try over the weekend or whenever your next crafting experience happens to come upon you. Super fun. We love Tryday Friday, and it's honestly all about trying something new. I'm going to share a technique with you today that I have just tried brand new today for the very first time. So pretty cool. I hope that you love it. I hope that you are inspired to try it. Let's take a look at what I'm going to be working with. I've got some stamps already laid out here, and let me show you what they are. This is kind of a fun spin-off of Nicole's Tryday Friday, which was a week ago. By the way, you can check out all of our Tryday Fridays on our YouTube channel. Super fun. She made a Valentine for her hubby, and I thought, you know what, that is such a good idea. Kind of like kill two birds with one stone. Now, my husband's pretty geeky, so this Geek Chic stamp set is going to be absolutely perfect for him. Love all the great sentiments and all the fun images. And I also put a little sprinkle of Thanks Dad in there, mainly because I adore these two pair of kind of nerdy glasses. So I mixed those in with the Geek Chic. I love that we can make stamp sets, mix and match to your heart's desire. Super fun. And I am going to be stamping a background, which I've shown you a time or two, I think. But I just wanted to share a little tip with you on how I lay out my stamps. Once I decide which image is going to be with which color, I kind of try to keep them with their proper colors in order. Now, of course, they get mixed up sometimes. But if I know that this smaller pair of glasses is going to be turbo teal, I'll kind of line that up and kind of get my pattern set up. That way I don't accidentally grab the wrong color with the wrong stamp, which of course would not be a national emergency, but you know, if you want to keep that consistency where you're keeping your same images and your same colors, this is just a little tip to share with you to sort of keep things straight on your crafting desk. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to do my biggest stamp first, and this is just a nice panel of whipped cream cardstock. I'm going to put these on the outside edge now. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp just a fun little pattern, and then we'll get to the kind of unique tip that I'm going to share with you. So this super fun circuit board heart, I kind of want to be my focal image, so I'm doing it pretty much in the center of the card this way and then over to the right, because that's the only time I'm going to stamp that guy. So I can actually tuck this ink pad away, and then everything else is going to kind of float all around the edge. Now, one of my key stamps that I'm going to use is the glasses, like I said. So I'm going to put a couple pair of lemon drop eyeglasses here. Now, this is what's going to be kind of fun, I hope, as that Fun Stamper's Journey carries a lot of fun different embossing powders, but mostly they're in the metallic family. So, because I want to kind of have an embossing effect on my card, but I don't necessarily have colored embossing powders, like for instance in lemon drop or in rich coral or you know whatever I'm choosing. I'm gonna try a technique where we make our glasses frames super fun and shiny. So I'm excited to try it. Tuck another pair in there. I might want one more pair up here. So you can see as I'm building my background, I just kind of go along and fill in images with whatever sizes that work out. I'm not terribly fussy because I do have one small stamp where I can fill in some of the gaps, or actually a couple different small stamps. But I do try to once in a while pair my stamps in threes. So if I'm going to stamp, you know, one of these fun little electron ones, I try to do it at least 3 times on my background. Then again, it just kind of gives me consistency. I know someone's out there saying, Kim, you only stamped the yellow glasses twice. Which is true, I only stamped them twice, but they are a pretty big image, so I'm not too worried. Now I have this little tiny bow tie, and again, this is from that other stamp set, the Thanks Dad. So it's kind of a cute size to fill in some of these gaps. You know, where I need to do some filler work here. So you can see it goes pretty fast. Yeah, I think I just need a few of those. And then I do have one random stamp. So this is going to be a quiz for those of you who are familiar with Fun Stamper's Journey. Let's see if we can get Roy to get in pretty close. This is a fun little stamp set that is just an accent piece for another bigger stamp set, of course, because it's so tiny. So I want to know if anyone can identify that little cute stamp. If you have a guess, go ahead and leave it in our comments. I know Miss Lynn is out there monitoring my comments. Thank you, Miss Lynn. So if you know where that stamp came from, give it a little shout out. It's actually kind of funny because sometimes if you stamp it off the edge, it kind of looks like two little googly eyes, which is pretty funny. Okay, so now we've got our main background stamped. Now let's have some fun. I want to come in and again, like I said, make my frames of my glasses glossy. And again, because I don't have embossing powder, I want to heat emboss them and make them really fun and glossy. Because I don't have colored powder and all those bright colors, I'm going to kind of do a faux glossy image. So I'm going to grab my clear pigment ink. And then I also have some clear embossing powder because again, I don't want to cover up all those yummy colors, right? So I have clear embossing powder, my clear ink, and then for this project, because I'm going to double emboss, I'm grabbing one of our media trays, which are awesome. And then they have this removable little divider here. So you can take the little dividers out if you don't need them. And I'm going to use this for embossing. But let me go ahead and stamp it first. Let me make sure that these don't have any yellow on them or blue. I'm going to grab my smaller glasses and my large glasses. Make sure the ink is kind of off. So again, stamping them in clear pigment. Now our stamps are red rubber stamps. So you obviously cannot see through them, but I don't think they're all that difficult to line up. And for this technique, it really doesn't matter if it's 100% perfect anyway. So I'm going to kind of go on top and I'm adding the clear pigment. I want to be, you know, fairly close to being on top of those glasses. If it's a little bit off, no worries. Nobody's going to be even noticing. Especially when we do the second embossing, because remember I said it's going to be a double emboss. So again, this probably doesn't show up obviously on the video very well because it is clear on top of these colors. But I think when I add the powder and do the embossing, you'll be able to see that the embossing powder is pretty fun because it actually kind of darkens my ink color just a little bit. So I love that. So I'm grabbing my clear powder and I'm just being super generous because again, the joy of the media tray is it's going to catch all my excess powder. So just kind of move it around there a little bit. I think this embossing technique would be super fun for a lot of our different stamp sets. I kind of envision it with flowers or other fun things. Let me cover that ink pad. So I think Ray's going to get in here fairly close and I'll start heat embossing. Hopefully you can kind of see the magic happen when it starts melting and it's going to go clear. And I'll try to talk over my embossing gun. So you can see that that's not 100% matched up, but totally doesn't bother me. I actually kind of like it, that it's the tiniest bit offset. So now it's starting to melt. I think you'll see in the yellow glasses here, see how that yellow darkens? Whew, don't blow away. So the one side is starting to melt and the other side hasn't yet. So see how it's a much kind of more vivid yellow? And as I move across here, it starts melting. So fun. So I kind of wanted the trendy look of the, you know, clear plastic frames that all the hipster kids are wearing nowadays. Come down and get my other two pair. Once your gun heats up, it goes fairly quickly. It takes about a minute to heat up. That's so fun. So you can see when I turn it, it starts catching the light a little bit. Okay, we're looking pretty good. So now what I'm going to do, and it actually cools pretty fast also. So it's not like you have to wait super long between doing coat A and coat B, which is what I'm going to come back and do now. So now I'm coming back with my 2 stamps, and again going back to my clear pigment ink. Sometimes I call it embossing ink, but it is clear pigment. Just stamping again, adding another layer of ink and then powder. Again, I didn't choose to do every image on here because I really want those glasses to pop. And by the way, yes, my husband does wear glasses, and they do kind of look like this. They're not yellow, I have to admit. He does have more traditional kind of tortoise shell frames. Actually, there's not too much sticky powder there. Again, cover my ink pad. And one more quick embossing round. Hopefully when we zoom up, and I do have my finished sample too, you'll see how that double thickness of embossing powder just really makes these come to life. I love it. Ooh, good shot, Roy. One more blue pair. I do kind of like this color combination too. I like it where it's got a lot of the primary colors, the red, yellow, and blue, but then the pop of orange and turbo teal also. I love it. All right, so I'm really feeling like these glasses are awesome now. I mean, I think you can pretty much catch it on the video. They've got this really nice heavy coat of embossing powder, and also gives them the look of a, I don't know, almost like a safety goggle type of look, you know, where they've got that nice heavy plasticky look. Love that. I think it's super nerdy, super fun. I didn't dare try this circuit board. I think I would probably never get it lined up, but I really think it's a fun technique. And again, you have your media tray with all your embossing powder, which is super fun because then you can just dump it right back in your, you can use the little tab right here and dump it right back in your jar, and you will not be wasting any of that. But let's check out what I did to finish my card then. So fun to see your comments pop up that you like it. I think it's something fun to try, something new, maybe you haven't already done. So I did decide I would make it kind of, you know, spacey or whatever, give the spacey element. I used 3 different of our silks on the finished panel. So I've got our Cool Pool, which sort of echoes the Aqua Turbo color, and I've got Lemon, kind of to match the yellow, and Orange Rave to match the orange. And let me just quickly do a little flicking on here. I think this just adds a fun little dribby-drobby element. We love our silks because they add that little bit of texture, and they do have a slight dimension to them. Especially these 2 brighter ones. These are part of our Be Amazing colors. They're the Orange Rave and the Sour Lemon. They have, out of all of our silks, I think they have the most enamel in them, so they're really nice and thick and dimensional. And I'll try to tilt the card so you can see that too. So let's see if we can get in there a little bit closer, Roy. I just want to kind of try to catch these drops right there. Can you guys see how they're a little bit dimensional? Roy's like, quit moving the card. So these drops are really fun. Like I said, they have a lot of the heavy pigment in them. Here's one too. See that drop? So fun. So it adds just a lot of, I think, a little funkiness to the card that complements the look I'm going for. Okay, do you guys want to see the card I finished earlier? It's pretty similar. So here it is. What I've done is I've just matted it with lemon drop to pull out the emphasis for the yellow glasses. And I've got rich coral on the background, which was the fun little electron I did. And This is kind of unusual for me. Those of you who have seen me make cards for a long time know that I almost always, 99% of the time, put a sentiment on the outside of the card. But I had two reasons for not doing it. One, I didn't want to cover up any of my fun, super, busy stamping on the front. And then also because it is going to be a Valentine for my husband, I thought, it's kind of fun to put the sentiment on the inside, and then I can write my personal note, of course, later. But check out what I did put on the inside. And I think it really pops. I put this sweet little sentiment, which is also from the Geek Chic stamp set. Talk nerdy to me. So I thought, well, that was just kind of fun and, a little cheeky or whatever. And then, of course, I'll write my sentiment. So don't forget, you can always put your sentiments inside your card. And that is super fun, too. So what do you guys think? Tryday Friday. Are you inspired? Did you learn something new? Maybe you've never tried this technique before. I do want to throw a little challenge out to anybody who's going to be playing this weekend. Try this technique, and if you have a certain stamp that you think will work perfect for it, maybe it's one of our flowered sets. I think some of the flower sets that layer I think would be super fun. Maybe try it with 3 different coats of embossing powder. What? Totally throwing a challenge out there. Try 3 coats and see if you get an even heavier, glossier look. I think that would be super fun to try too. Maybe I'll even try it this weekend. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have fun, have a great weekend. Join us for Tryday Friday every Friday, whether it's on Facebook if you're watching live there, or you head over to our YouTube channel. Like I said, we have a lot of playlists there, and Tryday Fridays are all there in one grouping, so you can just kind of YouTube your afternoon away also. And as always, for any questions or if you want to check out our products, visit us at funstampersjourney.com. We are always going to be hanging out there, and we have great stuff on our blog and our gallery and all that fun stuff. Again, enjoy your weekend and have fun as you bring paper to life.